Okay, let me remind you that with, this is a review of 6.5, by the way, and 6.5 is all going to be on the calculator portion of your exam. So when you have to graph something, I would highly recommend you put this in your calculator. Okay, so you have a square root function, and you know that square root functions, if they're not translated, start at the origin, and then they kind of rise and go off to the right. Well, this one is translated, so also remind yourself that you've got this lovely h and k scenario. So h is really a positive 1, and k is a positive 2. So that means from the origin, I'm going to shift to the right one up 2. And so, in fact, I will do this to the right one up 2. Okay, now if you graph this on your calculator, you can see that from your calculator, it starts here and goes up like this. But if you trace to that point on your calculator, it really doesn't pinpoint that 1, 2 for you, unfortunately. Now from here, give me a couple nice points. So you can definitely use your calculator to help you, or if you want to test points by hand, you can, but you don't have to. So what I would do on my calculator is I would go to my table feature and I can see some nice points. You can certainly graph points that are decimals, but this is easier to plot on paper. So I know that 2, 5 is a point, and I know that 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a point. So it's a pretty steady growth there. So starting at my point, I can know that my square root function looks like that. Now your domain, you can see it, right, from your graph. Your domain is everything greater than this point, and that x value at that point is 1. So my domain is everything greater than or equal to 1. And your range, you can see, is everything greater than that point, and that y value is 2. So my range is everything greater than or equal to 2. So really, you know, always for sure, your domain and range are always, if it's rising, of course, if it's a positive square root function, that's everything greater than your h value and greater than your k value. Okay, then again, this problem is a cube root function, but you can use your graphing calculator. So when you use your graphing calculator, and third root functions kind of do this. So first and foremost, remind yourself that it, well, you know what, this is kind of a lousy drawing. It does this kind of, so your domain, it goes on forever and ever and ever to the right and to the left, so always all real numbers. And your range, it does technically go forever up and down, although it's a slow, steady rise, but it still does. So cubic functions always, always, always have a domain and range of all real numbers. No questions asked. It doesn't matter what you do to that cube root, okay? So then, of course, you're going to type that into your y equals, so do that, see what it looks like. Okay, when you put that on your calculator, if you go to your table feature, you can pick out some nice, I just picked out nice whole numbers. Not that you need all of those to pick out, but when you do that, I'll just plot the ones I can fit on here. So let's see, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to plot these points here. Okay, so I just plotted these points. So 5, -6 is there, -4, 0, -2, -4. Well, then I know that 24, -8, which I'm not going to fit on my graph, is like, you know, way down there, and -11, 2 is way up there. So I do see that it's doing this, and it's a negative cubic function, so this would be a positive, so that makes sense that it's doing that. So I will just connect the dots. So remind yourself that these cubic and square root graphs will all be on the calculator portion. Please use that to help you graph nice, accurate points.